Vulnerability is power. How many of you have heard that saying before? But bigger, do you agree with it or do you disagree with it? Today, I want to share with you why I agree with this thought, and I'm going to share with you 3 ideas as to how you can utilize emotion to move forward in your life. I was watching the movie Fried Green Tomatoes about a week ago, and I remember this one particular scene. Evelyn, who is played by Kathy Bates, was grocery shopping. There was a young man who, let's just say, said some not so nice things to her in the line, and then she went out to the parking lot and tried to confront him, and it ended up with her dropping her groceries on the ground, and she started to cry. As she was picking up her groceries and putting it back into her bag, I just remember feeling like, God, I wish I was there. I would give you a big hug to tell you it's going to be okay. But what really is most important to me about that movie and that scene is that that was the turning point for her. That was the moment when she started to make some decisions in spite of her marriage getting stale, in spite of some life changes she was going through, in spite of everything. She made a decision in that moment by those emotions to make a change and to regain her personal power. So I do believe that emotions are powerful, and I believe vulnerability is power. Let's examine this a little bit further. So first of all, I believe emotions are, as I drew in this diagram, our heart speaking to us. I think emotions are a compass. So whether you're angry, frustrated, depressed, happy, sad, whatever those emotions are, I believe that it is your soul calling to you. It's your soul telling you that something needs to change. And for me, I've been there many times in my life. It's those emotions that made me say, no more. I'm not staying in this relationship anymore. I'm not staying in this job anymore. I'm not going to live in this house anymore. Whatever it might be, it was those emotions that got me to finally step up and see it was time to move to something bigger and better. So I believe emotions are an awesome doorbell, as one of my coaches once told me. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is emotions, and you'll see I drew this arrow towards somebody's head. Emotions can also be something we can choose to repress. If we choose to repress it, you'll see these little squiggly lines. I call that noise. That is when we decide to repress our emotions and we stay stuck. And when we stay stuck, I believe bad things can happen to us. I believe repressing our emotions can cause disease, it can cause illness, and just lingering and just being stuck in one place is no place any of us want to be. So with that, I was once told, if you're sad, be sad. If you're happy, be happy. If you're depressed, be depressed. If you're frustrated, be frustrated. But experience those emotions. Let them go. Because if you choose not to let them go and you repress them, and worse yet, if you judge yourself, I shouldn't feel like this. I shouldn't feel like that. I shouldn't be upset. I shouldn't be angry. Stop doing that, because you will not move forward if you repress your emotions. The third thing I want to offer to you, and this is also something that really stood out for me in the Fried Green Tomatoes, is get support. Now, whether that support is talking to a friend, a family member, a coach, talk to me, whatever it is, I have found by expressing my emotions and sharing those with someone else and telling somebody else what I'm going through is another outlet to release those emotions. And I find that the more I talk about them, as I'm describing what I'm upset about, and as I'm saying it, I will once in a while realize, and this just happened to me like about a week ago, I was telling somebody about some negative emotions I was feeling, and as I was telling them why I was feeling this way about a situation, I was almost laughing at myself, thinking, that sounds kind of silly. Why would I think this about that person? Is everybody out to get me? And it got me to see I was kind of being a victim in a certain situation. So again, emotions and vulnerability is power. If you can do these 3 things, number 1, look at your emotions as your doorbell. Look at them as a way to call you forward. Look at your emotions with gratitude that they are getting you to look at something different. They're getting you to move forward with your life. Number 2, don't repress your emotions and don't judge your emotions. Don't make yourself wrong from your emotions. Feel them, experience them, get through them, move on. Last but not least, talk to somebody else about them. And if you don't want to talk to somebody else, hey, get a journal, write it out, write it on a piece of paper, get it out of yourself, and then that way you can move forward.